What's up, guys? Thanks for checking out this class. I just finished filming a HIIT class, very hoppy class, lots of jumps. So I thought it'd be great to offer for a class like that to finish out something with happy hips, happy legs, right? Just to cool down, some deeper stretches. These are some of my favorite go-to stretches that I do after a conditioning day, or even if I just want to go deeper in my hips after yoga practice. So we're going to start actually in a lizard pose. So your hands come forward, you're in that tabletop. Bring your right leg towards the top of the mat. Now, if you need to warm up even further, go for it. We're gonna get right into lizard here. So hands can stay on the mat. You can always use blocks too. I'm gonna come down to my forearms, right? We're getting into the left hip flexor and then also the right outer hip in this. So we'll stay here. Your toes are facing forward. That's an important note on that. And you just breathe into this. A lot of the deepening of stretches happens by just sitting still in it, not moving, although movement is very tempting a lot of times, and sometimes movement makes sense. So really up to what you are feeling, your body's feeling, but let your body lead you. Let your breath lead you. Letting it cool down, calm down. We're gonna change it up in a second here. But first you just get to notice where that resistance is, maybe where you can lean into this a little bit more. Good. Come back up onto your hands if you weren't already. Then turn your toes out, your right toes out to the side, so your knee goes a little bit wider than your mat. And you get to open up now with a little bit of a twist here. The right hand can gently press on the thigh. So almost like you're creating space here where this often gets really tight and locked up. You can gently push away. That's nice. And then if you want to take this one step further, again, depending on how willing my body is, you can reach back for the top of the left foot and get into the quad stretch. So still that hip flexor, but then gets a bit lower into the quad. You can do this from your forearm on the left side if you want. Working up a little bit taller today, since I just finished that kind of intense workout. Just taking it easy. But this little combo of moves is just so great. Post lifting, post conditioning, and then even a deeper stretch. Good, let's go ahead and come back to that tabletop, switch it out, bring the left foot forward, and then stay here. Hands in line with the foot, open up. Each side may be a little bit different, so you may just have to play with adjusting. That may mean blocks, that may mean taking away blocks, that may mean coming down to forearms. You've got both legs involved, so oftentimes my right side may be more open, but then the left side is more restrictive. So it may be easier in some senses, but more difficult in the other. Invite the breath there to that tightness. It's definitely tempting to let the knee go ahead and splay out to the side, but we're keeping it in tight right now. Good. Let's start to open it up. Toes go out to the side. You can come back up to those hands depending on what feels right for you. You can reach back for that twist. You can push gently on the thigh as that knee goes wider. Lots of intensity here. There are so many different hip openers, and just slightly changing the angle really may suit you best. So that may mean an adjust of the foot. Let's release this, come back to tabletop. Adjust of the angle. So our next stretch that I love to do, which I often don't do in my yoga classes, but I really do love it. It's a 90-90 position. In one posture term in yoga, it's called deer pose. So you've got one shin parallel to the side of your mat, and then another shin, I'm actually gonna do it this way so you guys can see. One shin parallel to side, one shin parallel to the top part or the back part of your mat. And then I want you to turn yourself over and then fold yourself in. You can also use props blocks here for your hands. You're kind of getting into this stretch, the front side as well. You're getting a little bit of a twist too. It's all connected. Back, hips, legs, right? So we get in here. And then you can always change your angle, maybe folding more over the thigh. Gets you a little bit more dense into that left hip. Good. Go ahead, come up. Let's switch sides. So, shin parallel to the side, shin parallel. Make those 90-degree angle positions. And then let yourself fold in, releasing that tension. Letting your breath stay calm, guiding your breath right to that area that feels tight. Changing your angle if that feels nice along the hips. Good. And then slowly come up. We're going to take one more posture on our backs. Again, these are just suggestions. Do what feels right in the body. We'll start with the right ankle crossing over the left. So kind of like you're going into figure 4, but instead, so you can scoot yourself over, you drop your left knee down and the right sole of the foot down to the mat. And you can slide that right foot in. This is really going to stretch this outer part of the hip. A lot of people think this is a supine twist, but it's not. It's actually really not about the spine, more so about this really meaty area of the hip. Your shoulders are both on the mat. Your gaze is up towards the sky. And your left hand may be holding your ankle so it doesn't slide. You can also, again, use a block. Sometimes I see a lot of knees falling over. I want that knee directly up towards the sky. That's where you're going to feel the stretch a bit deeper. More advanced, you'll scoot that foot in closer towards that left hip bone. This feels so good. Sometimes I'll massage, kind of beat it up. You can use a little massage gun here or just a fist. Amazing. Go ahead, come out of it, and switch sides. Scoot your hips over, and then take it into that opposite side. Notice where you feel the tightness. Like I can tell the difference here on my left side, it's tighter, and I feel this up more in my spine, like on the outside. You can see where the pull is coming from. Maybe where I need to do a little bit more work, right? So if that's you, just invite that in. Like be curious about where you maybe need to spend your focus, put your focus on, or bring your breath to that place, bring it into the rib cage even, and then maybe allow it to work down or start at the source. Just a few more breaths here. Amazing. Slowly come out of it. And extend your legs for a second just to notice the difference in your hips. You can kind of wiggle them. You can go side to side here. Back to those 90-90s, just rotating in. Bring some movement back in. So again, these are just great postures you can add to the end of really any practice. Stick them into the middle of the practice or even before you get going. So important to just warm and prime our muscles. So again, happy hips, happy legs. Thank you so much for checking this out. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.